Right, so I've done my foundation and I'm looking very blank. So we're now going to have a go at setting the foundation, just making sure it lasts all day and it keeps fresh all day. Give you a little few tips on that. And then we are going to start our contouring. Okay. Before you do the foundation, you can use a cream contour, but I tend to think that ends up looking too heavy. So I just go in with powder contour, just because it's my personal preference and what my clients tend to like the most. So when it comes to powder, we've got a colourless powder within our kits. So they're basically powders that have got no colour to them, so they don't change the pigment on your skin, which is absolutely fantastic. But they are products that will contain titanium dioxide, mica and iron oxide. So once again, you could potentially get that ghosting effect. So I've got a couple of tips. So I would go for maybe a tinted loose pressed powder, and pop that on the face just to blot where you need to. So Maybelline, I think Fit Me do quite a good range with different colours and tones, or you can go for banana powder, but I tend to think that gives a little bit too much of a sort of yellow sort of undertone finish. My favourite thing to use is this Blur Effect, which is really good. See, it's really good for being on set, on TV film. It's used in lots of fashion where you don't want to cake on too much foundation and too much powder. So basically it's something which will blur out any imperfections, so it's like a smoother, but it also blots off any sort of shine, any grease, any oil, and it helps set your work without it looking really cakey. So I just get a little amount, and then I just press it in place, particularly where I would see shine. So you don't want no shine in the centre panel of your eyebrows and forehead, okay? Particularly me, because I have a large forehead. Now, one area to concentrate on, you do not want shine underneath your eyes, so you pop some underneath the eyes. So this would be like your coloured powders, okay? This just isn't a powder, it's a balm rather than that. Okay, so underneath the eyes and just on this part of the cheek area, a little bit on the ball of my nose, ball of the chin. We're going to go from there. That spot just does not want to cover, so I'm just going to go over that again in a moment because it's going to irritate me. And I'm just gently just pressing and setting everything in place. Okay, let me just get rid of that bad boy spot. We don't want to see that, do we? There, that will do. Right, so now we're going to go in with a bit of contour. Okay, so I've got a brush which is at a slight angle. It's fairly thin, but it's also very dense. Okay, so I'm going to use this to get my contour shades. And what I tend to do is just get my fingers and press that together. And then for placement, you want to just see your little tragus, which is the little knobbly bit, which most people get pierced. And you're just going to work down from there. Okay, and you're going to get a little bit of definition first of all. And it's going to be very soft, so you can just about see it. Okay, so that's the first bit. So that's where we do it. Then I'm going to start bringing it up into my temple, into my hairline. And because I've got a massive forehead, I tend to like to add a little bit at the top of my forehead as well. Might as well go all the way around, otherwise that looks odd. Okay. Pop that in place. Okay, now I have massive jowls. I don't like them, so what I tend to do is add a tiny little bit along my jawline of the contour, but you don't want to be able to see a massive brown line, okay? So I just do it just to add a tiny bit of definition. Now I haven't gone too crazy at all because you don't want to overdo contour for special occasion makeup. We just really want to enhance. So I'm going to go in now. So that was my matte, so I get where I need the shape and it doesn't travel too far. Then I'm going to go in with my sort of iridescent marble effect bronzer. Okay, I'm going to start adding a bit more definition. Okay, so I'm going to add that just underneath my cheekbones, in the hollows of my cheeks. So once again, you can use your brush, you can feel for the facial structure, okay, and let the brush do the work for you, just making sure it doesn't travel down too far. You really want to make sure that if you go for your tragus, it's not no further than that, okay. And then I'm going to use this little pinky tone, okay, and I'm going to just use that on the apples of my cheeks, and I'm going to work that out. And because I haven't used reams and reams of powder, because I don't want this looking ghostly, I want to look like I've got a nice bronzed glow. What you can do, and which particularly for any mature skin or skin which is looking quite dull, I like these little stick blushes, and this one's a shimmer one by Revolution, and it's like a corally sort of colour. And you have to apply this, unfortunately, with your fingers, so you must make sure you wash your hands, okay? And then I like to add a tiny little bit of this just at the base on my actual cheekbone and softly blending that in to my powder. And that just gives a lovely, shimmery, fresh, glowy sort of look to the skin without it looking too much. Okay, and that's quite nice. Or you can go for, if you're feeling really brave, okay, I probably wouldn't go for this if it's for a wedding, because it is like a gloss, okay, so we don't really want to go for that. Go away, spot. So that's that, and then I'm going to go in with my highlight, okay, so I'm going to go in with this sort of soft buffing brush. Make sure there's nothing on it. It is clean, it's just stained, okay, and then I'm just going to add on my cheekbone. Just extend to my brow bone, so you've got like this nice sort of half moon effect on there. I tend to pop a tiny little bit just above the peak of my eyebrow as well. Okay, so get all this on. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful. I love a bit of highlight. This is my favourite highlight of all. So I'm using the Benefit One cookie again. Huda is my other favourite one. And then I'm going to add a little bit, not too much because I don't want too much shine on the nose, but I just wanted to bring it out because there's actually a place I've forgotten to contour. And this is optional, okay? So I always definitely put highlight in my Cupid's bow before I do my lipstick. That just helps enhance the lips and makes them look fuller as well. Okay, with my nose, let me just quickly go through the contouring of it. Okay, so with the same brush, I would just get the matte contour product that I used, and I do just tend to just do a little bit down the sides of my nose because I've got quite a fat nose I don't like, so I tend to work with features just to try and enhance them. So when you're using contour, basically it's a shadow, and basically it is reducing the appearance, okay? So it's reducing the appearance and it's adding definition to areas that you need, okay? And then you've got your highlight, which brings out all your features, okay? So it makes them pop out. So anything that you want to make stand out, you put highlight on. So definitely brow bone, cheekbones, anything you want to make look like it's receding, okay, or going inwards or less noticeable, you would use a bit of contour. So you want to define and make these cheekbones look like they're actually going in, even though I've got a round face. I want to make my nose look thinner and more petite, so I just use a tiny little bit. It's very subtle, you shouldn't be able to see anything. It's just an illusion really, so you've got that. All right, so that is the highlight and contour done. Okay, and then I shall just quickly just go over that, and then I will go over lips, and